For the first time ever, I'm getting paid to do something for somebody. Now, this probably seems like a very normal situation to be in, but I take forever to do like anything, and I don't really market my artwork anywhere. It's just kind of for fun. But the other day I was in a meeting and it was a virtual one. So my boss kind of saw some of the crochet stuff that I made, and he took pity on me and he said he really liked them and he wanted me to make some for our team. Now, I work at a startup, so it's not that many people. It's only like 7 plushies. But as a person who, like I said, takes forever to get anything done, this was going to be a big task. And not to mention, I had to do it all in 3 days. So needless to say, we're kind of in a tornado because I have very high expectations, very limited time, and also questionable skills. But it's fine. I'm going to start out by looking on Pinterest for some things that I can crochet. He didn't really specify what he wanted. So I think what I'm going to do actually is we're going to start out by sketching animals that I've done before and that I think will work nicely. So I want to make something with a top hat and maybe like a magic pointy stick or a cane, whatever you call it. If you're a magician, let me know. If you're not, don't you dare comment. But yeah, as you can see, we're going for a cute magic theme of like a bunny or maybe a bear. Those are the kind of like top 2 ideas that I had for this. So I started out with some white chenille yarn, started crocheting, and then I figured, why not just ask my boss who commissioned this what he would like? And I asked him and he said that he would like a penguin. So maybe should have done that from the start. So let's run to Michael's really quick, grab some gray yarn, and oh my gosh, would you look at that? The gray yarn was on sale. We're so lucky. Let's run home. I have some white yarn at home, so we don't really need to pick that up. I was looking at it. Anyways, let's run home and not waste any more time here because like Michael's really distracts me. Look at these beads and these charms. Oh, I don't even make bracelets, but like if I did. Okay, anyways, let's actually go. So I started on this with the gray fluffy yarn, and I really thought this was going to be so easy, so simple. And yeah, looking back now, oh my. Wait, let me actually back up. So if you aren't familiar with crocheting or like knitting, things in that like textile space, basically you're going to need a pattern to follow, and making patterns, by the way, is like a whole other thing in and of itself. So yeah, a pattern is like the most important part of making your creation, and lucky me, I found a really cute penguin pattern that I liked, and guess what? It said the tutorial was for beginners. Now, I've done plenty of projects before, and I wouldn't really call myself a beginner, but beginner tutorials are always helpful and always super nice. So I'm pretty confident that this would work. And do you know what happened? It didn't work. I have no idea what's happening. I redid this thing like 8 different times and I'm still reaching the same roadblock. Like, I thought this tutorial was for beginners. Am I a beginner? Do I even know how to crochet? Do I even know what yarn is? With this existential crisis afloat, I decided to go to bed and woke up the next morning with a fresh new headache. But I switched over to skinny yarn this time because it's easier and cheaper. And once again, I have the same exact problem. So I think this means that I have to write my own pattern. Now, like I was saying earlier, writing patterns is super hard because writing patterns means that you have to know how to count and do magic, both of which are out of my skill set. And with all that being said, I would still say that I underestimated how hard writing a pattern is, and I was actually getting really frustrated by the time I finished this head. So an idea popped into my mind. What if I pay somebody $5 to test the original pattern? So I called in my sister, and with a little bit of bribery, I got her to make the penguin, and somehow it worked like perfectly for her, and she's a beginner too, and somehow she got this like beautiful output. And honestly, I guess I should have just listened to the tutorial. Maybe I should have gone back to being a beginner too. But anyways, I finished up my penguin that I was working on, and I liked my sister's a lot better, so we're gonna go with that one instead, and I'm going to actually try to follow the pattern this time. Okay, around like 9,000 times of me trying this pattern. Hopefully it works this time though. I think I know what I was doing wrong now, and because I feel so confident in my new insight, I'm actually going to crochet with that intimidating fluffy yarn from before. So like, is anybody else seeing this? This penguin's head literally looks like a bell. I think I'm just going to keep going because I am too far in to give up on this now. And look at that. The penguin is finished. The head looks massive, but that's okay. Maybe I can fix it with like a hat or something, right? But it's okay. We'll worry about that later. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get all the other penguins done because, surprise, I have another plan. So I really want there to be an accessory with these penguins, and they are all going to have little top hats and maybe scarves, but I also want them to have like a little, something else. So the idea I have in my head right now is like the penguins can carry little accessories that represent each of my coworkers, except like there are some coworkers that I don't know very well, and I would feel really bad if I get their personality like completely wrong. So I think I'm going to decide against that, and also it just doesn't look good because I tried crocheting this game controller and it looked horrible with the penguin. I showed my mom and she was like, I can't even see the penguin. What did you even make? So we are erasing that idea, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make each of them a little penguin buddy instead. So like instead of having a separate accessory, you have a separate friend. So do you guys remember my 3-day deadline? Well, yeah, we did not meet that like at all. So for context though, it's okay because my boss didn't really set me up with the deadline. Thank goodness for that, because like, ooh, we would not have met it. So I took about like 4 days just crocheting these penguins, and I was going to record my process of crocheting their buddies, but no, we had to fully focus. So here is all their buddies. As you can see here, I made 6 of these, but in total I made like 8 or 10 because I kept messing up and like I didn't know what I wanted. So I had like 4 extra characters. They'll just go into some forgettable box around my house. Don't worry about it. All right, so to tie this all together, what we're gonna do, by the way, I don't even know what that accent was. It's just so bad. Anyways, to tie it all together, what we're gonna do is I am going to make little cards of each of the penguins. So I'm gonna just draw them out, write everyone's name, and then on the back, I'm going to draw each of the characters and also give them all a name. So by the way, I don't know if you could tell, but that orange one was supposed to be Charmander. Yeah, but I kind of wish I named him Wannabe Charmander, because what even is that? Like, that's such an imposter. And with that, we are somehow finished. This process took me so long. I spent like 4 hours crocheting every single day for this past week because I messed up so much. I cannot tell you how many times I messed up. Here are my eczema scars, and also I'm not done yet because I sent a picture of these to my boss and he was like, where's yours? I forgot about mine. Enough about me. How's your day going? I hope I see you next week. Actually, you can tell me about it then. Anyways, I'm gonna go work on my crochet stuff. I hope you have a great week, and please don't be late to our appointment. If you're still here, you'll be happy to know that I finished my penguin, and here is his buddy. It's supposed to be a duck chef. I did crochet a little apron for it too, but it was looking a little whack with it. So it just has a little knife and it's ready to attack you at any moment. And this is the best security I have ever had. And with that, goodbye for reals this time. Please come back next week. Bye.